What's up guys, it's Valentin. I'm on a German highway right now, and yeah, we're on our way to the north of Germany to visit a good friend of mine who's called Tim. And if you've watched my last video, you might have noticed that Tim actually bought a Canon EOS R6, which is a newly released full-frame camera by Canon that has some very neat features. And Tim doesn't know that yet, but I had an idea for a challenge that we will be doing together, where we compare both our skills and the cameras at the same time. Because I would say that I'm a little more experienced than Tim. He had another camera before that. It was actually my Canon T3i that I had before. I sold it to him when I got my GH5, and he used it when he was in Australia, and so he got some experience, but I would say that I'm still a little more experienced. So the challenge is, can someone with more experience and a smaller Micro Four Thirds sensor create a better or more entertaining video than someone with less experience, but with a full frame camera that naturally creates a more cinematic image? So this time we will check and see whether Micro Four Thirds can compete with full frame or not. We got just a little over 3 hours in front of us, but when we'll be there, we'll talk to Tim and see when his camera will arrive. Because I think, well, right now it's Saturday, and he told me that the package will arrive on Monday, I think. So we still got some time to chill and talk, but as soon as the camera's there, we'll go to the city or to the North Sea here in Germany, and then we'll make our tests. See you there. Okay guys, so here we are in the north of Germany with my good friend Tim.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
To see you again.
We have met each other on the internet actually, and we were playing Rust, if you know that game.
Best game ever created.
It's a great one, honestly. He was running around naked with a stone, which sounds kind of weird if you got no context. Yeah, and the thing is, I'd like to talk about your experience with the Canon EOS 600D that you had before, or in some countries I think it's called the T3i, so yeah.
Heard of it.
Yeah, okay. Now, are you excited for the EOS R5? R6?
R6, yes, I'm very excited for the new camera. But when I used the EOS 600D, I was mainly using my GoPro instead of the camera, because I'm still a beginner. And super excited to get into filmmaking and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, and we haven't talked about the challenge that we're gonna do together, and I'd like to tell you about the idea I got, because I would say that you're less experienced than I am.
Yeah.
And I've been doing filmmaking and photography for around 3 to 4 years now, I'd say. Before that I was doing music videos, but I was not really into the technical aspect of filmmaking. And when I got the GH5 3 years ago, I was also a beginner, but now I got some experience. And the thing is, Micro Four Thirds is a smaller sensor, so it's a little bit harder to get a cinematic look out of it, straight out of camera, because you have to focus on other things as well. And full frame, the camera that Tim got, is a lot easier to just get something cinematic out of camera. But someone with less experience and a full frame camera, can someone like you create a better video than someone who's more experienced but a small Micro Four Thirds sensor? What do you think?
No, I don't think so. So I'm very excited for the challenge we've got, but we'll see.
I think we'll do a video where we just make something interesting, just some B-roll shots around the north of Germany here. I'm not quite sure what the kind of theme will be, but do you have any idea?
No, not yet.
Okay, so we'll just focus on the aesthetic. Okay, so when it comes to the length of the video, for how long should it be? Maybe 30 to 60 seconds?
30 seconds is good.
Yeah, I think so too, because B-roll videos are generally better if they're as short as possible with as many high quality shots with great transitions and so on. So we got no theme, just do whatever you want and make the video a maximum of 30 seconds.
Okay, I'm down for it and excited, so let's see what
Me
we
too.
create.
This guy has no chance. I'm gonna. Okay guys, before we talk too much, we'll see you tomorrow or in 2 days when the camera's there. the camera is already here, but we're still missing the lens, the 35mm f1.8, I think, with image stabilization for our f-mount. But since this lens will take a few days before it will arrive here and will be gone by that, we thought that we would just get an adapter so that he can use my 85mm f1.8 from Canon for the native EF mount. And yeah, this way we can compare the Noxicron 42.5mm f1.2 with the Canon 85mm f1.8 and see whether, or which lens performs better. And I thought, at least when we're here on Borkum right now, we could talk about the Canon EOS R6 for a moment, because I'm really wondering, I am in love with Micro Four Thirds, why the Canon EOS R6? I mean, it's a limited camera, okay, it's full frame, but why have you decided for the R6?
Well, I wanted to buy a full frame camera, and I thought that the new Canon EOS R6 is perfect because it offers 4K 60 and has a solid IBIS system. And well, it's expensive, but I thought I would rather invest in that system than buying an older system and spend all my money on the older one. So well, when I can test out the new Canon, I really hope that it will do whatever I want.
Yeah, but that sounds great so far. I mean, so you're interested in the RF mount because it's a new mount and you want to see where everything will go.
Yeah, I wanted to start a little filmmaking career on YouTube with a camera that offers a perfect autofocus system, and I think that the Canon R series is perfect for that.
Yeah,
and
true.
Yeah, I was playing with the thought of buying the EOS R, but I didn't buy it because of the fact that it just records in 4K and 30. So it's
and it's also with a 1.7 times crop, I think, in 4K, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So it's not even full frame. And if you compare it to the GH5, for example, it's usually a 2 times crop, but if you use something like a speed booster, it's more of a 1.42 times crop or 1.28 times crop, depending on the kind of speed booster you have. But yeah, the R6 definitely has better codecs now. It has 4K 60 in 10-bit 422, which the GH5 only can do externally. So that's definitely a benefit. But then there's the overheating, which many people reported. And that's what we want to try out as well. What do you think? Will it deliver in 4K 60 at 10-bit 422?
Well, I really hope so. I mean, it's really hot today, and I think it's the same tomorrow, so it's probably 30 degrees. I think the camera will struggle, but we'll have a look.
So I think we've said everything so far. We just wanted to make a quick update because we weren't sure. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Okay, so we wanted to make some long exposure photos because the camera came and we got an adapter for the Canon EOS R6 that Tim has bought, and we got my Canon 85mm f1.8 here, and I thought that this would be a great moment to give my good friend Tim a small gift that I have prepared for him, which is my very first light that I have bought. It's the Aputure ALM9, and this is a small present for you.
Oh, that's
I got some colored foils.
Okay, I didn't expect that, to be honest. What the Oh, you're cute.
Thanks, mate.
That's the reason why I love him. Hashtag Ehrenmann.
As we say in Germany.
Now you know.
And I think it's beautiful.
Yeah. So now we got three colored lights that we can use to make something interesting here at the light tower. And yeah, we'll just take our time, enjoy the nature, enjoy the stars for a bit, and then we'll see each other tomorrow again, where we'll try to see what we can come up with. Okay guys, so here we are. We have changed our plans multiple times. First we were waiting for the camera, the Canon EOS R6 to arrive so that we can make the comparison between the GH5, the micro four thirds sensor, and the full frame sensor. But then we had to wait for the lens, and yeah, we had to come up with another solution because we wanted to compare both cameras, but we only got the camera but no lens. The shop that we have ordered it from didn't deliver it in time, so yeah, we got an adapter and we tested my Canon 85mm f1.8 on Tim's Canon EOS R6 against the new Nocticron 42.5mm f2.8 on the Lumix GH5 I have just recently bought. Because both lenses are around 85mm. We have made all our shots so far, and what was your experience like? Did you enjoy it?
I really enjoyed it, but it's very hard to create usable shots when you're a beginner, and I think I need some more time to improve myself and get used to the gear. That's totally new for me.
So do you think that 85mm is usable for what you want to do with a camera as soon as you have your own channel? I mean, Tim has a channel right now, but he only just really got started, right?
Yes.
You have big plans for the future, that's why you bought that camera, and you also got another lens. And do you want to talk about that for a moment?
Do you mean my 35?
Yeah, exactly. That's the lens we actually wanted to test against the Lumix. The lens arrived in meantime, but we already made our tests and we didn't have enough time to compare the 35mm to my other lenses for the GH5. But what is your opinion on the 85mm? I mean, you had some time with it today, and
I had some time to test it out, and I think it's very nice for the price. I think it's like 300 bucks.
Yeah.
300 euro.
Yeah.
So yes, and my 35 is around 500. I think you'd get it. And
okay, but sorry, this one was used 300. I think they might be almost identical in price then.
Okay.
But this one does not have any image stabilization. And it's an EF lens, so if you want to use it on your RF camera, you have to get an adapter. And I think we got the Mikey or Mickey.
I don't know, the cheapest one on Amazon.
Yeah. So yeah, you think the 35mm is more useful, right? Because
yes,
this phone
because
length,
the 85 is very good for portrait, but it's not very nice for landscapes, and that's I was just shooting landscapes all the time, so I think it's very, I don't know, it's an unusual case.
Mm-hmm.
I think the 35 is better for a beginner. You don't need to think about the distance between you and the subject.
Yeah, because I think the 35mm for RF mount is also a macro lens, and this one isn't. So it has, the Canon 85mm has, I think, 85 centimeters or 50 centimeters. I will put it on the screen here because I'm not sure right now. And this is a lot different when you're working with this camera, because 35mm is therefore a lot more versatile in what you can do with it. You can come very close and do macro shots, do landscape shots, as you have said. So yeah, I totally agree with you here. And I was also pleasantly surprised about the quality of this lens, although you have to say that this lens new costs about 1,300 bucks right now, I think, and I got it used for 690, which was a steal. But still, I mean, micro four thirds has some benefits, but if I look at your images you got with this lens right here, I got kind of jealous, I must say, because the autofocus is great even with this adapter, and the overall experience also felt very nice. You had some time to shoot with the GH5, not as much as with your new camera.
Yes.
What do you think about the autofocus?
When I was searching for my camera on the internet, I searched for a camera that offers a very good autofocus, because as a beginner it's very hard to have everything in focus, because it's super hard to see everything in detail on this little 3-inch screen. So I think I've done a great choice choosing the R6, and I think I couldn't create any video sequences with the GH5 because of the autofocus problem.
Yeah, that's true. So do you think the R6 is a better camera for a beginner who has not before worked with any camera.
It's very hard to say because it's that expensive.
Yeah, okay, so this camera is like 2,600 right now, and the GH5 goes for around the half the price.
For 900 euros on eBay.
Yeah, if you go used, you can get it, of course, for around 900 bucks, less than 1,000 euros. This one is not being sold right now on eBay because it's a new camera, but prices will eventually fall down, and then yeah, you might get this for a little bit cheaper. But I generally agree with you because the R6, I mean, it has the great autofocus, it has the great Canon colors, and this is a huge benefit if you just want to focus on creating. The GH5, I mean, it's a great camera too, but you need to work on the colors a bit more, especially if you shoot in another picture profile. And also the autofocus, if you're a beginner, working with this is sometimes a little bit awkward. By far not as good as the Canon EOS R6, and I have only tested it for a few minutes, or the time we had together here.
Sorry for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome, honestly. I gotta say that. And I've been a long time Micro Four Thirds shooter now, for 3 years, as I have said, and I am really surprised about the Canon EOS R6. And just to point out one more difference, one more key difference that I think is really important, the Canon EOS R6 is probably a better stills camera than the GH5. While in general, I would say the GH5 is a little bit more balanced when it comes to photo and video because it has unlimited recording times and it has never before failed on me. Like, we were in the desert, we were pretty much everywhere, even in the hottest temperatures, and this camera never failed. We tried to record something here in our room at normal room temperature, and we used the 4K 60p at 10-bit, I think, and we got around
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Oh, we didn't upgrade our firmware.
Yeah, exactly. This was firmware the 1.0, and we have updated it to 1.1.1. Exactly, and it should be better, but we haven't tested it again.
But I'm super sure it will overheat when you're shooting outside at 28 degrees, like 100%.
Most likely, because the camera got quite a bit hotter.
Yeah, it already got hot today when I was shooting 4K 25.
Okay.
For around, I don't know, 15 minutes. I mean, it didn't overheat, but you could.
Did you get the warning?
No, I didn't. No.
Okay. You always have to look at it from a realistic point of view, because if you use this camera in a real world scenario, you probably won't record 4K 60 for like 30 minutes. So it's mostly small bursts of like maybe 30 seconds, 1 minute, 4K 60 clips. But so far the performance was actually really good, and I'm excited to see how good the image quality actually is, because if we take a look at the specs, then this should be a better value for money compared to the Canon EOS R5 if you're a video shooter. If you need the large megapixel count, then go for the R5, but other than that, the R6 might be a good option. But that's it. I think we've talked enough about the different camera specs. We'll show you what we have made with both cameras and let you guys decide whether someone with more experience but a smaller Micro Four Thirds sensor can create something better than someone with less experience but with a full frame sensor.
Yeah, I think it's the first time that I really try to shoot a video with a photo or video camera. I think like my first camera was the GoPro, and it's a run and gun photo or video camera. Yeah,
you don't have to worry about ISO, aperture or shutter speed, which is great if you just want to capture the moment.
Yes. Keep in mind that my video was created by a super beginner. Let's call it like that.
Yeah, but that's great for you guys that have no experience at all and want to get into these cameras, because then you'll see whether you can create something great even if you're a beginner with a good camera like the Canon EOS R6 here. Okay, but now let's take a look at both videos and you guys let us know which one you like more, and especially if there's anything we can both still do to get even better. What's up everyone? So right now I am in the editing process of the video, and I have already seen both videos, the one that Tim has made and the one that I have made. And I must say I'm pretty excited to see what you guys think about both videos. I really enjoyed shooting with the GH5, but also enjoyed shooting with the R6 for the time that I had when I was with Tim. And I must honestly say that the autofocus system on the R6 made me rethink my decision whether I would want to stay with Micro Four Thirds forever, because if Panasonic does not come up with a solution that's somewhere where Canon or Sony are right now, I'm not sure whether Panasonic will be the system of the future and the system that I will stay with. So if someone from Panasonic is watching this, please guys, there's not a lot that we want from a GH6. We want just tiny bit better autofocus for video, because for photography it's pretty great already. Having IBIS as well as dual native ISO and maybe even internal ND filters and false color would be so great, but absolutely not necessary. If this camera had a little bit better low light performance and better autofocus in videos, it would be perfect in my opinion. By the way, I am shooting this scene with the Nocticron 42.5mm f1.2, and I must really say that this lens is crazy sharp compared to the Canon 85mm f1.8 when I was using it with my Speed Booster XL on my Lumix GH5. The autofocus of the Nocticron is also so much better compared to the Canon 85mm with the Speed Booster XL on my GH5, but since it's a native lens, this is really no surprise. One thing I noticed with the Nocticron in very low light was that when I was using the autofocus in video mode, it did not perform anywhere as well as in photo mode in low light. So I'm not sure what the problem is here, because all my other native lenses for the GH5 perform pretty well in both low light situations and regular light situations. Photo mode is always a little bit faster, but I never had any issue where the autofocus got slowed down in video mode. And one other thing I also noticed is that the Nocticron actually was quite noisy when I was focusing with it in photo mode, but in video mode there was nothing I could hear, or at least it was pretty silent. So I'm not sure whether there's some throttling going on in video mode so that you cannot hear the autofocus noise and therefore the autofocus is slower. But then again, this should be a problem in daylight conditions as well, but it isn't. So if any one of you guys knows what's happening here, please let me know in the comments below. So as you guys can see, this video has been more of a vlog type of video, because I wasn't just sitting down and talking to my camera all the time. I was here and there exploring different things and sharing it with you guys. And of course, I can also show more of my own personality in these types of videos compared to a regular tutorial that I usually do. But what do you guys think? Who has done a better job, Tim or me? And which camera did you prefer? As I said, I am excited about the EOS R6, but I am equally excited about the new Nocticron 42mm f1.2 because it really delivers full frame quality in a Micro Four Thirds package, which is kind of great if you ask me. Don't forget to subscribe to Tim if you're interested in more R6 footage. He has just told me that he's out there shooting right now, and it's actually quite late already, so he's definitely dedicated. And if you guys want to see more full frame footage of the R6, then definitely go ahead and check out his channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.